Hey everyone, before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. It all began as a harmless joke. At least that's what I kept telling myself. We were at a small, intimate restaurant celebrating a friend's birthday, the kind where soft lights shimmer off wine glasses and laughter floats effortlessly across the room. My husband, Ethan, was sitting quietly beside me, as he always did. He wasn't the type to dominate conversations. Steady, patient, calm. That calmness was what I had always admired about him. But lately it felt less like serenity and more like distance. When my friend Lily leaned over and whispered something about men who never notice when their wives dress up, I laughed louder than I probably should have. "Tell me about it," I said, grinning as all eyes turned to me. "Ethan still hasn't noticed I cut my hair 3 days ago. Honestly, I could dye it blue, and he'd probably just ask what's for dinner." The table erupted in laughter. A small pang of guilt flickered through me, but the attention felt good. Someone teased that maybe he was just afraid of saying the wrong thing. I played along. "Oh, come on," I said. "He doesn't say anything." The laughter grew even louder, and for a brief moment, I let myself enjoy it, until I caught Ethan's expression. That quiet, weary smile, the kind that masks hurt behind politeness, stopped me in my tracks. Still, I didn't stop. I made one more joke about how even our dog listened better than he did, and the group roared again. Then Ethan lifted his head. His voice was calm, barely above a whisper, but it cut through the noise. "You know," he said, "it's strange how much you talk about being ignored when that's exactly what you've done to me for years." The room fell silent. Even the glasses clinking on the table seemed to pause. My stomach twisted. "Ethan," I began, but he raised a hand. "It's fine," he said quietly. "Everyone needs a laugh. I just didn't realize my marriage was the joke." Without another word, he excused himself. No raised voice, no anger. Just that quiet truth that hurt more than shouting ever could. For what felt like forever, no one spoke. The air grew heavy and my hands trembled in my lap. Lily tried to break the tension, whispering that he'd calm down, but even she sounded unsure. I forced a smile. "He's just sensitive," I told myself. But deep down I knew better. His words echoed in my mind all night. "That's exactly what you've done to me for years." I left early and drove home in silence. His car wasn't in the driveway when I arrived. I waited alone in the dark living room, still in my dress, watching the clock tick past midnight. Then still nothing. For the first time in years, I truly sat with my thoughts. Ethan had never been distant or cold. He had always noticed the little things. It was me who had changed. Somewhere along the way I stopped really seeing him. He'd ask if I was okay, and I'd mutter, "I'm fine," without even looking up from my phone. He'd plan dinners I canceled, make coffee I left untouched. He hadn't ignored me, it was me who ignored him. When he finally came home around 2 a.m., he looked exhausted. Not angry, just deeply disappointed. "You embarrassed me," he said softly. "I know," I whispered, tears forming. "I didn't mean to," he interrupted gently. "You never mean to, but you always do." Then he walked past me to the guest room. That quiet hurt more than any argument ever could. The silence between us felt like an unbreakable wall. Lying awake that night, I realized that love isn't always destroyed by harsh words. It can be worn down by careless laughter. The next morning, I woke to the sound of the shower in the guest's bathroom. He left for work early, no note, no goodbye. Just absence. Days passed like that. He still did everything. Fixed things, paid bills, kept our routine. But the warmth was gone. His calm, once comforting, now felt final. Weeks later, at my parents' anniversary dinner, my cousin joked that I always had the last word. Everyone laughed, except Ethan. He looked at me with that same weary sadness. "She always does," he said softly, "even when it costs her peace." The room went silent again. This time I couldn't laugh it off. After dinner I found him outside, staring at the city lights. "You don't make jokes anymore," I said quietly. He turned to me, eyes tired. "There's nothing funny left between us," he said. "You took that away when you made me the punchline." That broke me. I wanted to apologize, but the words felt empty. Years of laughing at the man who had once made my world feel safe had brought me here. Finally I whispered, "Ethan, I miss us. I miss the way you used to look at me." He held my gaze for a long moment before replying. Then maybe you should have looked at me when I still did. And in that instant I understood. Sometimes the cost of a laugh is everything you never meant to lose.